Previously on a conversation with Gigi.
But it was very organic in the sense that I didn't actually set out to do it. I kind of just like hit this stage in life where I was like, why do I have to pursue an academic route? I had already had my first 9-to-5 job and I absolutely hated it. I felt boxed in. It was the perfect time for me to take risks. If I'm gonna fail, I'd rather just like fail fast, do it now.
Do you think that you are able to maintain longevity in the industry?
I don't know if it's possible actually, because I do feel like with this industry, it's a lot about who's hot right now or being young as well. And I don't know why we're so obsessed with like youth in general, but I've I, generally I don't really see anyone past the age of maybe like 35 still being pushed to the forefront of the industry or kind of like popping, as we say. What I would say is that just enjoy the ride while you can and try to extend it as much as possible. And I always think that life is never meant to be the same anyway. So once you get to a certain point where you feel like you've given it your all and you've done everything that you wanted to do, then maybe you can just find something else to kind of like
Yeah.
dive into. But if you still want to kind of like model past a certain age, then there's nothing to say that you can't. It just might take a different format. You just have to adapt to what the industry is or like create your own path in whatever you
Yeah.
do.
So over the last 5 years, what have you learned about yourself?
Ooh, I've changed a lot in the past 5 years. I actually used to be really, really shy and
Really?
100%, 100%. I used to be so shy. Even on set, like I would go to certain jobs and I'll just be quiet and sitting there because I didn't feel like I belonged or I didn't feel like it was right to kind of. I just wasn't confident enough to speak to people and put myself out there. And what I learned about myself is that I can be whoever I want to be. Like if I say to myself I want to be more confident, I just have to kind of work on it, on that side of me, and put myself in situations where I have no choice but to be confident. And it does help that I model because once you're on set and there's a camera pointing at you and there's like people behind the camera also looking
Yes.
and directing you, telling you what to do this, do that, more like this, more like that. You just feel very exposed.
Mm,
So you can't retract. There's no
yes.
space for that. I can't hide. So it just kind of like pushed me. 'Cause I do feel like
Yeah.
that's what being confident is about. You're not scared to step into new situations and still being yourself
Mm.
or putting your best foot forward.
So what's your no factor like? And what I mean by that is you have to make that call of when to say yes and when to say no. So how do you actually deal with that, where you still get to hold on to who you are, but
Mm.
not actually worry about losing out on opportunities? Because some people fear losing out on opportunities, which is why they probably say yes to a lot of things.
That's a good point. So in the beginning, I used to just take on any and every job. And the thing is, yeah, when you do that, you have to live with the fact that those photographers or videographers or whoever the client is, they own those images for life. And if you hate it or if you feel like it's the type of job that doesn't suit your personal brand, then it's there. Like they've taken those pictures and you've been in those videos or adverts or whatever it is, and it's there for life. So for me, I do have a set of criteria that I kind of like have to fit into. I just had to decide what type of model I wanted to be, and I knew that I wanted to be more of a beauty model than say like something like swimwear or even like fashion. I just wanted to get more into the beauty side of it. And I liked the idea of just like pushing black culture forward. Like I like
Mm.
cultural shoots, editorial type vibes that are about Africa or just being black and celebrating black culture, black beauty and that. When I'm approached by different clients, it has to be something that I feel like fits my personal brand. I'm at a point where I'm like, I just want to be in a specific lane. So if it doesn't fit the criteria, then I just wouldn't take those jobs. I don't believe in the whole over sexualization of women that's been kind of like pushed forward for the longest time now, or when you just have like, do you know when they just use models as props and you're wearing like they're fully clothed, but the models are wearing lingerie or they're wearing a bikini. Why am I almost naked but you're wearing your clothes? It's because they're being used as a prop to the video. Or when the lyrics themselves are degrading, I would always ask to listen to the song first before I take on said jobs. Or there's certain maybe artists I just wouldn't work with. Once you say yes to something, you're going to attract more of those jobs. So if I was
Yeah.
in any and every kind of like music video, then I'm going to attract more of the same type of jobs. Whereas if I'm in this specific lane, I'm going to attract more of those type of jobs.
You mentioned standards and you mentioned your brand. So, what are some of your brand standards?
Pushing Black culture for being positive about everything that you do, celebrating inclusion. I don't want to be like the token Black girl. I just want everyone to be seen equally.
But what about rejection? Let's talk about rejection. What's some of the things that goes through your mind on how you come up from that?
I do think that rejection is inevitable. You're not going to be suited for every single job. You just have to accept that it's a possibility. You're not always going to hear yes. When it comes to rejection, I would say that maybe try not to take it personally. And if certain things are not meant for you, they're just not meant for you. If you're not suited for a job, then why would you want it anyway? You shouldn't compare yourself with other people, because in this industry, you would see that it can be a lot of the same people, the same type of look that gets booked time and time and again, and you can feel like you're being overlooked. Sometimes, yes, it can be heartbreaking because maybe you really, really wanted that opportunity.
Yeah.
But I always think like more opportunities will come.
Knowing your niche, knowing who you are as an artist, as a performer, as a model, if you know that, that also helps you when you are going for particular jobs, like you say. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about social media. So much imagery, so many videos. It's so easy for people to be on the gram all day. But how do you make sure that what you're viewing as well doesn't impact your own self-esteem?
I think it's difficult because sometimes a lot of the messaging that we get from social media is kind of like subconscious. Nobody's telling you you have to look a certain way, but you still interpret it that way, especially when you're being fed the same sort of images all day long. If it gets too much, try to cut off social media. Every now and again, just kind of like have a social media cleanse and remember that there's a world out there. You don't have to look a certain way or you don't have to do anything in particular to kind of like be accepted. And then social media is kind of like based around attention culture. You just need to remember that there's a world out there and it's not real life. Social media is not real life. A lot of those people that look flawless online, you then see them in real life and it's kind of like, oh, it kind of
No filter.
you know what I mean? In terms of like developing a complex, it's like what is so wrong with you? What is it that you're not happy about? And if it's something like maybe you've put on a few pounds and you want to go to the gym and tone a certain area of your body or lose weight, then yes, fine, you can use it as motivation, maybe kind of like follow a fitness page or something like that. Do like a live workout. But I don't feel like people should beat themselves up too much, especially with women. I'm happy that now we're becoming more accepting of just like how you look and just who you are in general. I do
Yeah.
we're becoming more accepting of that. You can be whoever you want to be and do anything that you want to do looking the way you look.
You were traveling before COVID. I remember seeing you going
I
here.
know! Oh my gosh, I miss
Saw
it.
you.
I really miss it. I can't tell you how much I just miss traveling.
And it's the first thing I actually want to do when I feel like, okay, it's safe, it's time, I'm going away.
Wow.
But for those, aspiring entrepreneurs that, they're probably in their 9 to 5 or they're studying and they want to do other things, what tips or how do you manage your time?
This is quite difficult because my schedule changes all the time. For me, I'm an early riser, but
How early?
I'm ridiculous early, like 5 a.m. No joke. No joke. I wake up at like 5. If I'm going through like a busy period, I'll wake up like at 5. I'll get loads done before 9, 10, before I have to go on and do my day-to-day activities.
Mm.
Or if I have like loads of bookings, then I do need to sleep more because it always shows on camera. So I try to sleep more. With time management, I think you just have to be really, really organized. And even if your schedule changes all the time, like me, like my phone is my best friend. I have a whole calendar, it's color coded for different things. And
Fantastic.
I can change timings and stuff. And if I feel like something's overrunning, I try to kind of like shift things around a lot. So I'm not the most reliable of people when it comes to like meeting friends or going to places, because my schedule literally changes. I could be free. I could say to you that I'm free on Wednesday, but then come Monday or Tuesday, maybe I have to do something else. And then, but luckily, the people around me are very accommodating, so they just understand. And a lot of the people I'm close with are busy themselves, so we kind of just like make it work.
You've really been helping us out today with all of your tips, but I now want to really shine the light on you and ask you to share your highlights so far. So what are some of your highlights to date?
Maybe being featured in a magazine, like that's something I remember that year when I was featured in a magazine for the first time. That's something that I really wanted. I remember writing it down as one of my goals that I wanted to get published. But sometimes if I want to do something, I'll still write it down, even if I feel like it's impossible or it might not happen. It's like, I want to do it, so let me just write it down, and then somehow maybe.
Yeah, that's good.
Literally. And I would say it was a career highlight because I actually wasn't expecting it, because I did a shoot for a brand, a clothing brand. So then the brand released the campaign, but then the magazine feature didn't come until November or December. So I'd already forgotten about that shoot at this point. And then the creative director just messaged me on Instagram and she was like, "Oh my gosh, are you happy you're featured in this magazine?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's me." I went to the news agent the next day. I got like 3 copies because I wanted to keep them. I was so happy. I was like, because up until then, I didn't even class myself as a model because I don't fit the standard look. So I just thought I'm just somebody that models sometimes. But then when I got featured, I was like, yes, this is like my diploma.
It's official.
I was like, my prices just went up. So that was
I love it.
But also, I like doing shoots abroad. It feels like a holiday and work at the same time. So it's always fun when I get those opportunities as well.
How can people connect with you?
So my main form of communication is definitely Instagram, which is GIGINXB. On my Instagram, there's a link to my digital portfolio, which is GIGINXB.com, where you can see my modeling pictures, videos, stuff that I was featured in, and you can book me through the website. My email's on there as well. With regards to photography, I have a separate page called nala.photos, and that's NAHLA.PHOTOS.
Thank you so much. And then my final question to you is what the term successfully Black would mean to you.
Okay, so for me, to be successfully Black means to do what you love, being great at what you do, and making money from it, all whilst navigating the world as a Black person.
I love that. Thank you so much, Gigi. It's been absolutely amazing having you on the platform. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was nice catching up with you as well, actually.
Thank you once again. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel and press that notification bell.